It was a brutal hunting game where people were used as prey. They desperately run, the enemy behind them with a bow and arrow shooting. People who can't walk have been knocked down and stabbed, and seeing them fleeing in panic, the hunters are more excited. Finally, only the main man was left. He was extremely fast, and the chief hunter was about to kill him. A blow hit the hero, fell. The chief's son came up to fill the sword. The hero took the opportunity to break the arrow pierced into the body, grasping the opportunity to stab the sword directly into his neck. The chief froze for a second, and then ran like crazy. The man got up with severe pain and desperately fled into the jungle. The chief picked up his son, who was already dying. Once he burned and looted, killing for fun, and now his son died tragically. He was devastated. This is the cycle of karma. Anger made his eyes become more vicious. He wanted the male lord to die, and led his men in wild pursuit in the direction of the male lord. The hero dragged his wounded body through the jungle. The enemy in pursuit behind him can no longer run. See the tree in front of him. He had the idea to climb up. Hold your breath and hide. People ran from below and did not find him. Then he turned his head. The hero's pupils dilated. The body's adrenaline burst, and began to run for his life at speed. A hunter found him, just to chase up, just by the panther a pounce, into his meal. The hero took the opportunity to slip away. He chewed off a piece of bark, put it in his mouth and chewed it up and applied it to the wound to stop the bleeding. The great pain almost tore him apart. The hunters were still in pursuit. The man turned around, the bow and arrow from the top of his head. He did not dare to rest a breath. Do not know how long to run again. The man suddenly stopped, because the front is a waterfall several hundred meters high. Looking back at the enemy behind him. Jump it. The hero was lucky to survive. Climbed to the shore and shouted loudly to the hunter. If you want to come and kill me, please take your friends with you. Killing is a vice, but I have quit. The leader of the hunters with the revenge of killing his son, forcing his men to jump one by one. The hero saw the situation and hurriedly fled into the depths of the jungle. In a hurry, a foot into the swamp. He grabbed a life-saving branch, but the branch is too thin. His head has been submerged in the swamp, but hands are still struggling to climb up. Until this moment he did not give up hope of life. Finally he climbed up. The hunters have come ashore. The sound of footsteps closer and closer. The hero wanted to continue to flee, but he suddenly awakened. He's going to start fighting back. Finds a poisonous frog in the jungle and pokes and fiddles with it with a sharp branch. In this way, the spikes are covered with venom and become deadly weapons, and the hunter's voice comes closer and closer. He hid in the bushes and rolled up a leaf for a tube. Taking advantage of the hunter's proximity, he jets and the hunter is hit by an arrow. Another arrow knocks down another one. The other hunters notice the difference and close in on him, but the hero has already set the next trap. When the hunters caught up, only to see the male master was covered with silt, only 2 big round eyes and a big bag of stuff on his head. The hunters were too late. The reaction male master has thrown a huge honeycomb. Killing front instantly gushed out. The hunters were bitten scurrying around. A whole hunter chase team only left 2 people. The male master was eventually found. This time he no longer chose to run away. Thinking of the slaughtered tribesmen and fathers, remembering the children standing on the shore of the restless eyes, remembering the pregnant wife and young son who were still hidden in their caves, he had to bet his dignity to fight. Finally, there is still the leader of the hunters. He has amazing strength, combat power, the face of his raised bow and arrow. The hero did not dodge, straight in an arrow. The chief pulled out a dagger. The result of his hero broke off the long arrow and rose again. He was going to wait for this moment. The chief fell into the trap set by the male master. At this time, the sky has been raining heavily. His wife and children are still in the cave. He desperately run wildly, because they may be drowned alive. In the eyes of modern people this is an ordinary ant, but in their eyes it is a needle and thread to sew up a wound. First put the ant in the wound. Wait for it to open its big mouth. The cracked skin is bitten. Then twist off the body to keep the head. This is the most primitive suture technique, crude but effective. The mother and son have been trapped vividly for 3 days and 3 nights. No water and no food, and then stay so is dead. The mother finally made up her mind. She tied the rope on the wood, threw it out of the hole with force, and gently pulled to make sure the wood was stuck. Then a little bit to climb up. Climbing to half, almost exhausted, the whole body is at this point the wood suddenly fell off. The mother fell heavily to the ground. The son ran over and hugged his mother. but the tremendous pain made him almost unsteady on his feet. A rainstorm came suddenly, and a lot of rain poured in like crazy. The mother's water broke. The child in the belly is about to be born. Is at this time the child's father arrived, finally to be saved? But the father just a quick glance, then turned and ran away. It turns out that behind him, there are wild people are hunting, can live only on his own. The water level in the cave continued to rise, has made the woman completely submerged. Her feet desperately stepped on a stone, which allows her to hold on for 10 minutes more. But the child in the belly cannot wait. She has been shouldering her son. Strong pain to adjust breathing, and then lower abdominal force. The woman in the water to complete the delivery. The power of maternal love is infinite. Her thin body standing in the water, supporting the children's hope to live. Just at this moment, the father finally arrived in time to save them up. When the family stood on the beach, ready to start a new life, they saw the sea level. 2 large ships were slowly coming. It was the invaders from the Western world. Their armor was hard and tough. Their weapons were unprecedented. And where would they go in front of a higher civilization?